Now let's play around with the point curve for editing assignment 4. In editing assignment 3, we used the region curve, where Lightroom lets you control points within each region: shadows, darks, lights, and highlights. With the point curve, you're allowed to place dots along the graph anywhere you want to and manipulate those dots as drastically as you want to. Obviously, this is a bit of an irresponsible edit. Although it looks cool, it's not what we're going for here. So we'll just undo these dots, and I'm just hitting Command Z to remove all the dots. You can also delete the dots by right-clicking on them and hitting Delete Control Point. Also, you'll find Undo in your Edit menu, Undo Point Curve. Unfortunately, Lightroom does not appear, this version does not appear to have a history, which is a bit frustrating. So let's do some responsible editing. What I'm going to do is create a simple S-curve to create some contrast. So I'm going to put a point right in the middle. I'm going to put a point at the intersection of shadows and darks, and I'm going to put a point at the intersection of lights and highlights. And to create the S-curve, all I'm going to do is move the top dot up and the bottom dot down. And this is a pretty standard contrast adjustment that you'll see many YouTube editors and other photographers show in their videos. Now, this particular sky has a lot of overexposed values, and so this photo does not fall necessarily under the standard S-curve, so I might play around a little bit more, as I did in the last video, with moving my highlights down a little bit lower. As you can see, as I can see in the histogram, this green line shows that the highlights are going way off the charts. But for most photos, an S-curve such as this will be a very quick way to create some contrast. One feature that Lightroom does have is a button called Show Original, and you can click this to show you what your original photo looked like, and then click it again to show you your edit. So you can toggle back and forth between the two in order to get a glimpse of what you did. And you can see that I definitely created a lot more contrast by bumping up those shadows, especially the shadows and the darks. Okay, so that is EA4. That is the basics of EA4, which is editing using the point curve. Feel free, if you want to, although not required, to play around with the point curves in the various color channels. So this would be your red color channel, this would be your green color channel, and this would be your blue color channel. Why RGB, you ask? Well, those are the wavelengths that make up the visual range of what we see, of how our eyes see color. So that is represented in the photos where the sensor separates those three channels. So for instance, if I feel like my blues, in this photo the blues are a little bit strong, and I can see that they top out in the dark part of the tones. The top of the graph is in the solidly in the dark column. So what I'm going to do is put a point, and then I'm just going to bring those blues down a little bit, and then that creates a little bit more warmth in my photo. So that could be something else that you play around with as well.